Kia ora everyone. So day 14, and man, it stings. After 6 solid green days, I started strong today, up $110, but then I had an issue with my trading platform. I got caught in flushes, I overtraded, I just got triggered. And instead of walking away, I kept trying to get myself from red to green and kept fighting and kept trading, and that just made it worse. So that's the reality of trading sometimes, especially if you're not controlling your emotions and stopping yourself from over trading and keeping things keeping things tight. If you don't keep things tight and disciplined, you can often end up deep in the red. And today I found myself down $360 a loss today. So that's a big loss for me. Generally, I don't want to take a loss more than, say, $50, $60, somewhere around there. That's sort of my max loss. And I did not adhere to that today. I kept going and kept trading. In fact, I finished trading early this morning, went to bed for about an hour and a half, got up and then tried to trade the final hour. So power hour at the end of the open session to try and still recoup the loss. And did I? No, because when I left in the morning, I was only down about 260, and then I ended up down about 360, or about 237 maybe it was, after the first session in the morning. So yeah, not a great day today. Made a lot of mistakes, that's for sure. So let's have a look at what I actually did. So I traded ALUR, was the first stock I traded this morning, and I actually did pretty well on it. I had one loss on it. I took 5 trades on it, and I was up $110. So if you look at my P&L here, I'll move that across a bit more. So you can see my P&L accumulative in this column here. So I started off pretty well. My first trade was $44 in the green. Next trade was pretty good as well, 68. I'm up $68. So and then my third trade I was up $100. Then I took a loss and dropped to 78, and then I recovered that loss and I was up 110. So up $110 here. That's where I should have walked away. Really, I had traded the front side mainly of ALUR, and it was starting to pull back, and that's where I should have left it for the day. 5 trades, up $110. That's twice my daily goal of $50 is my daily goal really. And that would have been another day this week that was over $100. So that would have been great profit, progressing my P&L curve. So that would have been fine. But I saw IBO. So IBO was my next trade, and I lost on that. Not a big loss. But a loss anyway. And this is where my trading platform disconnected. Basically, I was watching the stock. I had bought in, I'll show you where I bought in actually. Yeah, so it pulled up and I had bought the pullback here. We're below VWAP, and I was expecting, well, what I wanted was for it to push back through up towards VWAP, and I thought it was going to break upwards. It didn't. It didn't break that level of 350, and it got to about 345, and I was in at about 334. So I probably could have taken that. It's 10 cents, but I was hoping to see it break through 350 and go a bit further. It didn't, it pulled back. So about here in this red candle, my platform decided to freeze, and I was locked out of my trading platform and I couldn't trade. So that was fun. So that triggered me, and when I came out, I was down here around 315, around down the bottom here. I think it was down about at $40 or something like that. It did bounce back, and eventually I sold it here at for a loss of $20, 22 or 22, for a loss of $20. Yeah, so it went down to $90. So not the end of the world really. That was still within my stop loss. That was fine. But then I decided to take another trade and trade ELAB. So if I actually bring this stock up, so ELAB popped up around 8 o'clock and put in a decent move. I missed that move. So I traded it when it was going sideways in consolidation. I think I got in here around this entry here, around this dip. No, I didn't. Nope. I got in further along. Yeah, so I got in around 9:15. It had pulled up and come down, and I had bought that to see if it would push back up, and I held it for too long. I should have got out straight away when it wasn't going. It pushed up here, rejected off that, and that should have been a, get out of that trade. Instead, I held it right through into that open, and as it flushed down here, I panicked and panic sold. My target was actually 770, around this area here. That's where I was hoping to push through and take profit there, but panic sold down here, and then it ripped up and to my to my target. But yeah, so that also got to me this morning, and really that should have been it. I should have walked away then. I was now down to $18 in profit. So still green, but only 18. But I didn't stop there. I kept going. I traded IBO after the open. And if we have a look at IBO, actually, have a look at IBO here. So this stock on IBO, it popped up yesterday and after hours, and put a move up to about $5.11 from around, what was it? It was about $1. So it made a big move, and then at the opener pre-market it popped again up to $5.11. So it sort of double topped up here, and it was kept rejecting off this level. It sort of sold off and then came back up, but I didn't see any of that. By the time I got to it, it was sort of didn't really look good to me, and I was trading ALUR through this period just before 7 o'clock, and then it sold off at 7 o'clock and kept selling off. I took my first trade on IBO around in this area here. I think where it tried to break back up. Is that where I took it? Yeah, around 8:15 in this area here, and ended up getting out after my platform decided to disconnect. So coming into the open, it made a move, And then I think I took my first trade on it when it went into a flush around 9.38. Yeah, so in this area here. So I got in, I think in one of these candles here, to push to make a new high, and I got caught in this flush. Got caught in that flush and I lost $102 on that flush. Do I have a, oh, I didn't take screenshots of that one. Yeah, so there was a decent loss on that one there. And then I took a couple more trades on it, 9.59, 9.43. Should I get rid of those? So 9.59 was through this area here, below VWAP as it came up. And I made 19 cents on that. 346 to 365 was my entry. So 943. So around here, probably in this part here, and then coming up to here. Yeah, so no, I took a small green trade there as well. Then a small loss that was well within my sort of stop loss, which was fine. And then, yeah, I just kept trading. And like, this was a decent trade here, 22 cents. You know, got back to, what's that? Got back to being only $15 down in the red. Could have walked away then. Should have, because the next one on IBO, next trade on IBO, I got caught in another flush. And really, it wasn't that I got caught in it. It's that I was holding. Look at my entry. I was starting to get aggressive here on my entry because it's on the back side of the move, for one. It's already, you know, it's already made the move, the front side. I've traded it. The trade beforehand, this one here, not a bad entry, looking for a break of that previous candle, and it pushes up. But instead of holding this trade, I got out too early. I should have held it looking for the break of this pivot here, at this high. And as it pushes through that, then I should have been taking my profit off the table around $6. So that was a bit of a error there, selling too early. Didn't have a clear sell signal there either. So, but then coming down here on the back side of the move, the MACD's crossed over here, so it's closed. So I shouldn't really be taking a trade or trying to trade this backside. I should have left it alone. I shouldn't have been in a trade at all. But I saw this move back up, you know, pushed from sort of like 519, 520, and it's pushed up to, you know, 570. And I thought, oh, there's some volume coming back in. It's going to retest the high. So it pulled back and it pushed again. And I thought, yeah, it's going to push back higher. So I bought in aggressively here on this red candle. But it just pulled back, totally kept going down, rejected off there. And then when it pushed back up and I could have gotten out flat, I didn't. I kept holding, expecting it to push back higher. And then it just dumped. Dumped down here, and yeah, I just, man, yeah, just sold straight away. So I was like, actually I've probably got that on the video somewhere. Yeah, so these are my trades on Allure at the start of the day. Good entry there, and just holding, and it pushed back up to the high. I took it off the table as it kind of broke through, and then I bought back in looking for the breakthrough. It didn't have the strength to break through there, and it basically went without me. Yeah, so initially I didn't think it was going to break, then it did, but I think it pulled back after that. Yeah, and then I got in again as it pulled back, but I stopped out in that one. And this is when I had my first issue with my platform, that's right. I wasn't in a trade then, but... And then we're out to, this is IBO. This is my first trade on IBO. Yeah, so this is where I had the platform issues. So I bought in there and I was waiting for my trade to come up, and then, yeah, my platform crashed on me. I had to restart my platform, log back in, do all that sort of jazz, and then it wouldn't log in properly. So lots of issues this morning with the platform. Well, actually I don't usually have issues, but this morning I did. And then when I came back out, yeah, it was down around $40, $40 loss. So it did push back up, and eventually I did stop out on that one. I knew it wasn't probably going to push back right again. Still having issues disconnecting and reconnecting. But yeah, so I think I get out here. Yeah, so it pushes up there. Probably should have got out on that candle, but that was a bit quick. That topping tail, and then I just got out there, so yeah. That was that one. This is the trade on ELAB, but yeah, so I'm in here at the open, hoping it would push higher up to 774. It didn't, and then I sort of panicked when it flushed down there, and yeah, that wasn't good. But you know, it wasn't that bad. I was at this stage, I'm only down. I've only got. I lost $72 on that trade, and I'm still green. I'm $18 in the green. This is where it went wrong. Buying in on IBO. So the stock leant towards flushes, and when it dumped, it did it a few times actually. But this is the first trade I took here, looking for a break higher over the VWAP, back through to like pre-market highs and stuff. But it pushes here, and really I should be taking profit. Like, look at that, boom. Actually, I'll go back and play it sort of in sort of real time. So here, you know, could be taking profit here. You know, $32 up, that would have been fine. And it didn't look like it was going, but then boom, it just drops. Look at that. And like I'm still holding. And I'm thinking, oh, should I get out? Because sometimes they buy up and you can get out higher. So I should have been selling here, like there, that was the selling, but you know, it's not going to recover all the way. So I'm holding too long here in this flush. I should be getting out. You know, even here is a good exit, because $74 is way better than 156. I can't believe I'm still holding this. Oh, it's coming up. I'm thinking, oh, it's going to push back up and recover. but really I should be selling. Yeah, I'm still holding. I can't believe I'm still holding. And then it starts coming down and I should be hitting the sell key. Like here. Like, sell. I was pretty tired too. This was coming up to the end of my session really. So I'd been up for, what's it, 3 hours, 4 hours? 3 hours, just over 3 hours I've been up, so yeah. And I'm still not selling. I'm really holding on to this to see if it'll push. And then I take it there. I'm like, no, I've had enough. And I got out. I think it, and then I bought in again and it did come up. But I sold too early on this one. I probably could have recovered most of that loss, or all that loss probably, if I'd actually given it a chance to break through back to the VWAP. But I got out just too early. I think that's common actually. I feel like that happens all the time. I feel like just as you sell, the stock either leaves without you and rips up into a, you know, a bigger move, or, you know, you've just bought in and it starts pulling back. And you're automatically, well, you start off in a losing trade right from the go. So I was a bit annoyed about that too. So just a few things that I was in my trading today that really caused me to get a bit emotional about it, get a bit triggered, and I just started to make bad trades, bad decisions, and I just should have stopped, like should have walked away. You know, at this stage I'm down $46, you know, and that's right near my max loss, and I should have stopped there. But I didn't. I proceeded to carry on. Oh, that wasn't the $156 loss, sorry, that was only 102. The 156 was a little bit later, that's right. Yeah, so I'll just scrub through here. This was just a small trade. I was looking at it to push back through the highs again. And at least I got out of that trade pretty quickly without getting caught in the next one that dumped down. And then I went and traded MSTZ, which I've traded a couple of times before. This was coming into the VWAP and I thought I'll take it there and see if it breaks back through. It did a little bit, but then it pulled back and just kept pulling back, and I took it off the table eventually. Yeah. So that was either, that was failing. And then this trade here wasn't a bad entry. It had pushed back after it had gone into a halt up. I didn't quite get in on the dip and rip. Didn't really rip that much really, but I got in on this first pullback, and as it pushed higher, I sold too early. Like, I got really frustrated about that actually, because I don't think I was meant to sell there. I think I actually, that's right, I accidentally hit my sell key. And yeah, sold way too early. I probably, if I was quick enough, I probably could have bought back in straight away instead of getting upset about it. But anyway, this is what it is. it did pull back again here, and this was probably another entry here, but with that topping tail and with IBO, you know, flushing all the time, yeah, it's just too risky on this stock. And this stock was quite, you know, it wasn't nice to you, I tell you. And then I took a trade here. This wasn't a good idea either. This was where the VWAP had closed, and I got in again and got, this is the $156 loss. So on this trade here, if I play this, I'll just play it double speed just to go through it quickly. But on this trade here, I'm in looking for a break up here. It's already pulled back, you know. In this candle here, the second red one, I should have been out on the break there. That should have been my exit. And it still would have been a bigger loss than my stop loss. But, you know, I'm holding a losing position. I'm down $56 and it's not getting any better. It's getting worse. It does push back up a bit, but I could have got out nearly flat, I think. Is that this one? Yeah, but yeah, and that topping tail candle there coming up here, I could have got in out, you know, not too bad with just $10 down, you know, but I didn't. And then it just kept pulling away, pulling down, and you know, it's obviously not going to hold up. And then it just you know, gets to this point here and it breaks down. And there's the red on the tape, bit of green. I think it's going to push back up, and then here is it. Yep, green, red starts coming in, and on the 10-second chart here you can see it's a bit of a pushback there, and then solid red, and then yeah. And even here I should be selling, you know, it's like it's failed, you know, it's breaking through that original high, or a high, previous high in the pre-market, and yeah, that wasn't good at all. So that was my biggest loss, and now I'm down $171. What's this one? This is, oh, I changed to GLTO and started trading this as this popped up. So I took, my first trade on this wasn't too bad actually. It had squeezed up through VWAP, it had come down, retested, pushed a bit higher and was pulling back. Probably a bit of a big red candle there, but the other two are pretty light. And I got in here for the breakthrough back up over 642. Did I get that? It's pushing here and I'm waiting for it to break over 642, and I'm actually holding this looking for it to break through. So it's hitting a little bit of resistance, and probably could sell, but I'm holding for the break. It's pushing up. I'll just speed this up a bit. And finally it breaks, and I hit the sell key there. My order doesn't get filled, so it's pulling back, but I left my order there on the ask at 650, and it does push back up and I get filled. So yeah, not a bad trade. I could have sold on the bid as well. Yeah, possibly could have held that too, obviously. But in all, I thought that was a good trade. If I was selling half and stuff like that, then I would have let it the half run, but that's okay. And even that sort of triggered me when I when I missed out on that. And see, look, I'm trying to buy back in again, and I'm thinking, no, don't buy back in yet. Probably should have bought back in on the push up on that side, really, but I bought back in at the top and looking for the next leg up. It didn't, it pulled back, and instead of getting out in my stop once again, I get caught in not a big flush, but you know, I still lost what, 100? Yeah, over $100 in that loss as well. So let's have a quick look at that. GTO. Yeah, 146 on that one. So another decent loss. Then I took another trade as it came up off the VWAP, took the first pullback and sold when it hit resistance straight away. I was just trying to do some quick trades, and I bought back in here looking to hold the VWAP. It didn't, it dumped, and I got out. And now I'm down $267 on the day. So I think this was my last trade in the morning session. So this is IBO. It's come down and has held at this previous support level here at $4. Pushed up into VWAP. I took a position here on the first red candle, looking for it to push up. It makes a bull flag, but it fails. I'm still holding. Just going to speed this up. I was hoping it would hold $4 and come back up, and really, you know, once that candle failed there, I should have just gotten out and then gotten back in at the low, and maybe then gotten in here at the break of that first green candle, sorry. But it does break up and push to VWAP, and I should be selling, yes, and I sell there as it comes up to VWAP. It rejects off it and then pulls back. Did I take any more trades? I looked at taking another trade. But after that, now I'm only down $227 on the day. So that's where I ended my morning session, and I went back to bed for about an hour and a half. And then I got up and I was starting to do my data sheet and fill in my figures and stuff like that, and do that. And I opened up my trading station again, and saw, IBO, there's a possibility to do some trades on IBO because it's curling up. I didn't restart my recording, so I didn't get any video of those trades. But where was it? So I came back and it had pushed up through the VWAP off the lows from 340, made a good move back up here, and I thought, oh well, this might go. So I was looking at it around through from here. I think I saw it as I had opened my trading station up, and I saw it had pushed back through the VWAP, and there was a possibility of taking a trade. So I thought, well, I'll try and get in off the VWAP. Unfortunately, I didn't get an entry here. I missed my entry here. It pushed, and then I was talking to my partner at the time, and I missed the entry here. And I think my first entry was on IBO. What time was that? 3:20. 5:19. So I got in on this candle, 5:19. It's probably around here, actually. I think it was around there. What time was it? 5:19 at 3:22. Yeah. So I got in basically as this was pushing up to the high of day. I took a loss on that first one. Actually, I do have a screenshot of these trades. Yeah, so this is really big because here I'm chasing. I've missed my entries on the front side, and I finally got an entry on the front side up here. It's high, it pulls back, and then I miss my exit. Then it dumps, and I get out here. So then I'm buying in high again. Instead of getting in at the low, I'm buying high again, and once again it dumps, and I'm taking another big loss here as it flushes down and holds up. I take my exit. Really not hitting, getting in at the right time. And then I buy in. I'm not sure why I bought in there, but I'm out down here. So that's another loss. This is terrible. This is really bad. And then as it breaks up through here, I don't take an entry here as it breaks the VWAP to, possibly get out at 472, and that would have been okay. I enter here, and this is the thing. My thought process is at this time, I'm really tired. I am quite frustrated, and you can see that there's a flat top there. Those two candles were, there was basically a wall there. There was a big seller at around 460, and it just wasn't going through. And it was hitting that wall, and instead of me going, oh, there's a seller there, a big seller there, well, that's not going to break, I should exit this trade and get out, I held it, and pulls back down to the VWAP, and I'm like, oh, it's going to flush, I'm out. So yet another loss. So not very disciplined at all. It was really bad trading on my behalf, and going back for power hour was a bad decision. And this is my last trade. So that was the trade just on the other screenshot, where I took the loss as it broke down through VWAP. It bounced back up, and I bought back in on the break of VWAP. It pushed up to make a new high. This was just before the close at 4 o'clock market time. And that was my best trade of the day. So the last trade was the best trade of the day. I got 44 cents a share on that. So I made $88.90. So that brought, I was down $449.15. That brought it down to $360 loss today. So pretty poor trading, really. I have a lot to learn still. I'm still a beginner trader, really. And when I lose my discipline, I lose it big time. I really do. And you can see by my stats, like I took 23 trades, 11 were green, 12 were in the red. So my accuracy was 47%, 47.83% today. And usually my accuracy on most days is over 60%. So really bad there. And then my risk reward ratio is, 0.62. So no surprise there when I'm taking, 70 cent losses, 70 cents a share in losses. Look down this loss column. I'm, 11 cents, that's okay. 36 cents is a bit high, 51 cents is definitely bad, 78 cents is terrible. Basically I want to be out between 10 and 15 cents. And then 72 cents, another one there, 36 cents a share. So these losses, especially these last ones here, this was just silly. Just trading the back end, getting in high, it was really, really bad trading, really undisciplined. So, and coming back to the week, look at my average loss there, $69.40 average loss. Average win was $42.74, which is pretty good for me, actually. But not when I've got an average loss of $69.40 hitting against it. So, yeah. So this week, I was getting over $100, consistently. And I was over $100 here at the start of the session. An hour into the session, I think I was up $110. And that's where I should have called it a day. And instead of being, only $172 profit for the week, I could have been looking in much better shape, over 600 probably, in profit for the week. So if you look at my P&L curve here, you can see that, I've had a couple dips there last week, and then coming to this week, it was pulling away nicely and up over $600. And if I'd added another 100 to that, it would have been pushing up into this territory up here. But unfortunately, because it overtraded last night, we've got this now very steep decline in my P&L. So overall, I'm still profitable on the month. I am 293.46 profitable net, and gross 444, but less fees. There's about $150 worth of fees. I'm around 293, which I will be less, to be honest. I haven't taken my fees off my loss yet, so it's even bigger than 360. It will be fees and stuff will be added onto that. And 23 trades, if I was charged commission on every trade I took today, that would be another $46 on commissions. So I would be down over $400. It probably won't be that, because a lot of my trades I took today will be commission free because of the way I executed them. But still, probably looking at over $20 in commissions still to come off that. So, that'll drop my profit even more for this week. Actually, if I show you my net profit, last week, because of commissions, I was actually net red for the week, down $14.90 on that week. But yeah, but once the commissions come off, I'll be probably around 250, maybe 260 in profit for the month still. So still green on the month, and next week hope to, it's recovery mode now. So now I've really got to focus on recovering from the loss. And that's not going to happen in one trade, one trading session, one day. If I try to do that, I will probably end up even more in the red. It'll be a grind. I'll be, only taking my A setup. I'll only be trading the front side of any moves. Once the MACD is closed, I will be not trading the stock until, it shows that it's pulling away again. And the amount of trades I'll take too will help keep my risk management. Taking only 5 trades a day will help reduce my risk. So I'll do that as well. And then also once I've reached my daily goal, that's probably a good time to walk away. Unless I know that the stock that I'm trading, I can still, I'm still trading the front side of it, and I can, get a bit more out of it. But once I have decent profit, I'm walking away. And it might take me all week next week to get back, to recover from the loss from today. But you've really got to batten down the hatches, get disciplined to recover from that drawdown. So it's not the way I wanted to end the week, but unfortunately that's part of the process. Losses happen, and sometimes you do have big losses, and bigger than what you want. So now it's more about controlling my emotions, getting back on track for next week, and making sure I don't lose confidence in myself, and keep my confidence up, and going into the session next week, first trading session on Monday night for me, having that confidence to get back in and get profitable. So if you've ever had a tough red day, let me know in the comments. What's your biggest lesson from a loss? What's your biggest loss? It's frustrating, and that's part of trading. So it's a massive lesson I've had to learn today, that I can't chase all the time to get back into the green if I've gone red. So there it is. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow my journey, and I'll see you next week in the next trading session. So let's get back to green.